ABC, how's it going? Time for another update. I got a little bit of probably half metal and then some other things in here, and a couple new things, mainly stuff out of the inbox. So let's go ahead and jump into it. I did find this CD the other day. We got 5 CDs here to show real quick. Pretty cool ones though. I think don't show a lot of CDs, don't pick up a lot of CDs, but found Hallows Eve, Death and Insanity. Really cool metal band. This came out in '85 and came out in '94 on Metal Blade on the CD. I'm thinking this was probably the first time this was issued on CD. It's really cool to find, what looks to be an old original. Alright, the next 4, like I said, I don't buy many CDs these days, and I definitely don't buy many new ones, if at all. But these are 4 brand new, just picked them up, got them from Amazon. New to me, they've been out for a couple years, sitting on Amazon, I guess. But this is from a label called, if I have this right, Eonian, E-O-N-I-A-N Records, out of Indianapolis. And what they do, it's a metal reissue label, but they're looking for stuff from the late 80s into the early 90s. Those bands that were coming up, kind of that, lack of a better term, hair metal, melodic metal, whatever you want to call it, that was big on MTV at the time. Those bands, kind of the next wave that was coming, but they hit the wall because of what happened. Seattle, the music scene changed, and a lot of bands, bad timing. They jumped on too late. They were good, but it kind of already been done. Tastes were changing. They recorded, they played in their areas, but they never got out bigger than that, But what this label does, Eonian, I think is how you pronounce it, is they find this stuff and release it. And it's some amazing stuff. It's really cool. And by looking at their website, you can Google them, check them out. They had right around 20 releases up until 2012, and they've kind of been inactive since then. So I'm not sure what's going on with the label. Hopefully they'll find some more of this kind of stuff, put it out. I actually have 3 or 4 more, excuse me, already in the collection, which I should have pulled out to show, but maybe next time. But I grabbed these 4 last week, or this week, came a few days ago. I want to try and get all of them, actually. So that's enough backstory there. This is Murder Bay, Never Was an Angel, out of San Francisco. Kind of they have to put these covers together because basically these bands never actually released this stuff. Most of the stuff is, you could call it a demo, but everything sounds fantastic. I mean, they're going into good studios and they're almost there, man. They're almost ready to take the next jump, and something happens. But hopefully you can kind of see them on the back here. This band, look-wise, kind of reminds me of the Sea Hags. They got that kind of look about them. But really cool, man. This is great stuff. If you, Kenneth, I'll throw your name out there, man. If you haven't checked this label out, and I'm guessing you probably have, but if you haven't, you would love all this stuff. Next is Rattleshake. And these guys remind me a lot of Dangerous Toys. Just great stuff, man. How they find this stuff just blows me away. Next is High Noon, No Turning Back. And there's another label, I think out of Arizona, called Retrospect, that kind of does this, but not as well. they do a lot of stuff. They have a lot more releases out, but they look for this rare stuff, you know, hard to find stuff. And but just their whole packaging, excuse me, I'm in trouble today. Their whole packaging, and I think they even started out with burning stuff, you know, burning CDs, and I get the hiccups. Alright, next, Youngblood, No Retreat. I haven't checked this one out yet. It's the last, I have the hiccups. This is the last one I need to open up, which will happen today. Just wanted to show those real quick. Really cool if you dig that era, that melodic metal, hair metal, whatever you want to call it. Check out that label. And again, it's EONIAN. And you just Google it, Eonian Records, I guess, and site should come up for you. Woo! Hiccups. I think they're going. Alright. Got 3 singles here. Don't buy a lot of singles, but kind of grab these. Last Order from Doomed. I got these 2. It's a split Stone Axe with Mighty High. Don't panic, it's organic. It's on Ripple Music. Looks like Ripple 001. Wow, it's a first release, I guess, for Ripple. Ripple is a very cool label. Releases this kind of 70s style hard rock. Actually, there's an album in here. Really cool album I'll show you here in a second. Also, man, I'm so getting into this band more and more. It's Person, Leaning on a Bear. And this is on Rise Above. That's the singer there on the back. Just really like modern day psychedelic in a good way. Not like real crazy psychedelic, but little heavy, just really good band. Kind of hard to peg or to pin down, but check them out. There's a video for this song, Leaning on a Bear, and one for, I think it's Contract. Is that the other video? Which is really psychedelic looking. And another 45. This came with a full length, so let's hold off on that. So let's get into the albums. What's playing in the background? Sacred Right, Is Nothing Sacred. Killer 80s metal. This band was from Hawaii. It's probably mid-80s, 1986. Only metal band, 80s metal band I can think of from Hawaii other than Hawaii. But wow, what a great cover. Found that in killer shape, had to grab it. Okay, a few things, non-metal things here at the beginning. Just grabbed this the other day, cheap. Couldn't leave it. Fenton Robinson. I hear some blues downstairs. I have another couple albums from Fenton Robinson. This is on Alligator. He was one of the early recording artists on Alligator. Yeah, him and Hound Dog Taylor. Really cool stuff. This is from 1977. Just great blues. Electric blues. This I had to grab because I'm a big fan of, I don't watch much modern TV, hardly any, but I'm a big fan of the stuff I grew up on. You know, the 60s black and white shows, the 70s stuff, and the 80s stuff, some of the 90s stuff. But I remember this group was on an episode of Sanford and Son, if I can talk today. And I just always remember them. I liked them. Yeah, they were cool. But to be quite honest, I didn't know if they were a real group. And finally came across an album. They were real. The 3 Degrees, maybe. This is on Roulette from like 74. Excuse me, 1970. So this is before they were on Sanford and Son. But they kind of had, I mean, you can look at them, they're going kind of for that Motown sound. They're not quite there. They don't, I mean, it's kind of in that vein, but it's not as good as Motown sound and stuff. But interesting album. And this thing was in like, it's still in a shrink. It's perfect condition, had to grab it. And what a great cover. This was like a $2 fine, maybe even cheaper. I can't remember. I've had it for a while. Just needed, it had a little bit of dust on it. Just needed a cleaning. Stuck it on the VPI. Sounds freaking great. And this is like 63, something like that. Rufus Thomas, Walking the Dog, on Stax. It is killer. And this is an original. And like I say, the vinyl is like perfect. The cover's got some issues, you know. There's no splits or anything. It's just, yeah, it's got some boxing, I think is what they call it. Just showing its age, but for whatever, 60 years old, it sounds great. And this kind of stuff, you know, I pick up this kind of stuff when I find it cheap. I actually looked this up. I was trying to find the year. It didn't have a year on it. And pulled out a old gold mine price guide. Looked it up, and this thing is in there for like $150, you know, mint, which this isn't. But no way, you know, would never ever pay $150 for something like this. But $2, this was worth every penny, man. This is a great listen, and I dig picking that kind of stuff up, just like the 3 Degrees, you know, experimenting when it's the right price. Alright, so we're kind of getting into the hard rock and metal here, so here we go. I've already shown this. This was kind of in here to be put away, but I'll show it again. Primeval, Smoking Bats, the Comptons. This is amazing. The obscure of the obscure 70s hard rock, you know, from 76, I think it was, 74, 76. Put out a single and an album and just disappeared. This label out of Italy put this, reissued this, and just, it's amazing. It's a great, great album. Get a chance, check it out. You can pretty much pick it up fairly easy on CD. The vinyl's out there floating around, but it was only like 300 total, 100 red, 200 black. Now, if you're talking about Ripple, they just reissued this, had to grab it. Puba, US Rock. Fantastic album, can't say enough about this. And I've already talked about, I have an original of this. This is a really rare album. You know, I have an original, it's in good shape. You know, nowhere near mint, but the vinyl's in amazing shape. Sounds great, but had to get the reissue. Just it's that good of an album, and it's on Ripple. This band was from Ohio. This is, I'm trying to think, 76, right there in the mid 70s. Just great, great hard rock. Amazing guitar player. He was basically, you know, the main guy in the band, and still going today. He's still releasing Puba albums. This was the second album. I'm hoping they'll keep going and release, you know, release the first 4. I have the first one also that they reissued. But check them out if you want to hear some 70s hard rock. This is a little more, it's not that 72, 73 era. This is a little later in, and a little more, there's a touch of commercial in here. Nothing you would hear on the radio, but you know, it's definitely growing, and it's not that as raw sounding as, you know, a few years before this album. But there's some catchy stuff on here, just amazing guitar work, great album. Picked this up a while back, finally spun it. First Black Sabbath on NEMS, and this has Evil Woman on it. Escape Fold. Really nice copy. I don't think this had ever been spun. It wouldn't fit over the spindle, like, completely. I had to take a knife and twist it in there a little bit. It didn't damage anything, but just to open it up a little bit. But it was so tight. Yeah, I couldn't even. I was afraid to force it on. I didn't know if I'd get it back off. So I don't think it had ever been played. And it looks perfect. Sounds fantastic. Somebody on one of my videos commented about, hey, there's a new Attacker out. It's really good. And I apologize, can't remember who that was, but thank you very much. Because you're right, it is very good. Attacker, Giants of Canaan. 2013. Attacker is an old 80s metal band. Put out a couple albums in the 80s. And kind of resurfaced probably 10 years ago or so. And it put out, 3 or 4 albums since. I'm not sure on the members. I haven't got that far in to check, who all's who. But really good, old school metal on the kind of traditional power in there, that kind of thing. This was a cheap find because of the condition, but I felt like I needed to try and save it, so I did. Venom at War with Satan. It's an original on Neat Records. And this thing looked like somebody had left it on a turntable for 10 years and it built up so much dust. And then they come back and flipped it over so they could get that much dust on side B. This thing is just, it was so dusty. No scratches or anything like that, but just so completely dirty, it was unbelievable. But stuck it on the VPI, got it off pretty good, Still has surface noise, but who cares, man? This is an old dog. And I was talking to Aaron, Mr. Rosario, about it. It's like, it's found a new home. It'll be fine. Okay, I got 2 more. This is 2 come in the mail this week. Totally stoked on both these. I had heard this was out on vinyl, but I couldn't find it anywhere. I couldn't even find it on eBay, other than overseas. After I found out it was on vinyl, I saw somebody overseas had some. And come find out, it was High Roller, label I'm really digging the last few years. I picked this up on CD when it first came out. It's Raven, Walk Through Fire, the new album from Raven, the newest album from Raven. And like I say, it's on High Roller. On the back was shown. This is great. This is like a return to form, and LJ kind of touched on this. Some of these old bands coming back and just tearing it up. And this is one of them, man. This is fantastic. If you like early Raven, not the Atlantic years, but when they were still hungry, those first 3 or 4 albums, this is it, man. So kind of back to that. And it came with a single, tracks 14 and 15, which is kind of cool. Side C and D. So that was fantastic. I was so happy to find that. That's been on the want list since the CD come out. I picked it up, and probably maybe a year later, excuse me, 6 months later, I heard that it was out on vinyl. I was like, gotta get it. But man, it was so hard to find. And last, Ram, Forced Entry, another High Roller. Fantastic band. kind of in that early 80s Judas Priest sounding, but with a modern sound to it. It's just a really, really good band. And I believe this was the first album, is that right? First or second full length? No, I can't remember. But they had an EP, and this was early on. They got 3 full lengths and an EP right now. They've been around for about 10 years. Really good band. Got turned on to them by Raul, who I don't see post many videos anymore, if at all. Hope you're still out there, Raul, watching. But he turned me on to one of their albums, Lightbringer, I think it was, or Death, that was the one. And I've been working my way back. Totally love this band, great band. Hey, that's it. This might have went a little too long for what I showed, but oh well. Had the hiccups. So. Alright, hope everybody's doing well, and thanks for the subs. Like almost up to 550 now. Checked the other day. It's crazy. Thanks to everybody. Alright, have a good one, BC. Go! I'm gonna get through this. Maybe not.